I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire for the week of January 9th to January 15th.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.
Before we get going with our dumpster fire, we really wanted to read some of our most hilarious comments we got from last week's dumpster fire, where we asked people to give us their best jokes that are more people blank than died on January 6th jokes.
These were some of our favorites. Simon Barnett said, more people died of boredom waiting for the return of dumpster fire than died on January 6th.
That's our favorite.
Al S. gave us 2. More men have died giving birth than were killed on January 6th. And more people have been killed by Alexa than died on January 6th. Knob Knuckle said, more people have died at gender reveals than on January 6th.
That's factually correct.
That's true. Very true. On Kermit said, more shim-shams were flim-flammed in this episode than died on January 6th. And Matthew Becker said, more bladders were kicked in the making of this dumpster fire than buckets were kicked on January 6th. We Are Light Beings said, more biological men have dominated women's sports than people who died on January 6th.
Also true.
And then Andrew Harvey said, more foot fetish aficionados wanked off to AOC's boyfriend foot photos than died on January 6th.
These are great.
Yeah. And then Brindle Dwyer said, the Matrix 4 was a bigger tragedy for our country. That line convinced me to subscribe. So
if there was a line that convinced you to subscribe, I would really like to hear it.
Yeah.
What was the moment in dumpster fire that was like, you know what? This is worth the price of admission.
Yeah. We do see your comments. I do read them. I do screenshot my favorites. So we'll try and be more active about reading some of our favorite comments in the shows.
And moving into the year, we will be doing live streams so we can engage a little bit more with the dumpster fire fan base.
Yes.
Because we love you guys.
Old in chief. The Supreme Court blocks the Biden administration's vaccine or test mandate for U.S. businesses, but approves the mandate for most healthcare workers.
I really love this ruling. It feels like SCOTUS was like, how can we piss the most people off at once? How can we piss everyone in America off? It's either not enough, it's either too much. It's just like no one was really satisfied with this ruling. Although this is kind of what they predicted. And I have to say, I've never been so happy that there's a conservative majority at the Supreme Court. Might be eating those words in a few months when they ban abortion.
Yeah.
And ban women. But for now, I'm okay with it. It does seem like they're like, what can we get in the least amount of trouble for? Although I think it kind of pissed everyone off. It seemed like OSHA was overstepping their bounds.
Yeah.
Like, don't you regulate, like, not this?
How is OSHA empowered to do this?
Yeah.
That's...
Well, because it seems like they just always, this is generally why I hate federal regulations, is because they'll decide what they want to mandate and then reverse engineer like some organization or create an organization to enforce that, and then it's never gone ever again.
Yeah.
So I actually don't think that they should have this kind of power to regulate private businesses in that way. Mm-hmm. With the health workers, it wasn't that surprising because I have family members who work in healthcare, and like they're in administration, and to even work at the hospital, they had to have their flu vaccine.
Right.
And so this doesn't seem like that out of bounds. It seems like they already have the power to do that. And people who are getting federal money, like Medicare and Medicaid, like, sorry, you're taking money from the feds. I guess you got to play by their rules. It's not great.
You take money from someone, there are always strings attached.
Yep. Mm-hmm. This is what you get for getting money from Big Daddy government.
This is what you get.
Don't say we didn't warn you. Yeah, it does seem like a bid to try and protect small businesses as well, but it's really just delaying the inevitable. I mean, my future ex-husband, Jeff Bezos, is going to take over anyway. We all just need to accept it. Surrender to our Lord, Jeff Bezos. Bend over and take it. up the bum with a dildo that you probably got on Amazon.
And just pretend he's Leo the whole time.
Yeah, just pretend he's Leo.
I thought you were going with a Chinese anal swabbing.
That will be in 20 years.
Proof we're living in a simulation. Hillary Clinton's 2024 election comeback.
That headline is the title of it was basically an opinion piece that I read and sent to Maggie and Sam just to torment them.
You're like,
Mostly
oh,
Maggie.
no. I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
It reminds me of the Michael Scott, where he's like, please, God, no, no.
No, God, please, no, 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 no.
This is the election we deserve, though. I'm sorry. I'd be all for it. I mean, think of how great the dumpster fires would be.
We'd have at least 4 more years of dumpster fire.
At least.
I don't
more
care
years.
about
Four
we're
more
always
years.
gonna have 4 more years of dumpster fire. This is just like, why?
Kamala and Biden's approval ratings are in the just like tanked completely. People don't. There's no food on the shelves. The gas prices are going up. Inflation's never going away, and people are going to be upset about that. And now they're like offering up Hillary as some kind of comeback queen.
I know. As like the Maverick candidate or something weird. I'm like, what? She lost.
We're never going to escape 2016 again. That's the glitch in the Matrix. I would die. I mean, there's no way it could happen. There's no way. She's so unpopular. Like, they say that people voted for Trump because they liked him, which is true.
Yes.
But people also voted for Trump because Hillary was so unpopular.
Right. A lot of people
They
voted
didn't want
against
her.
Hillary and just voted for him.
In the
because of
same
that.
way that they voted against Trump and just for Biden.
Right.
Because they just hated Trump so much, even if they weren't like huge Biden fans.
We just need a new splashy, fun candidate to come on the scene.
Who's even popular in the Democratic base? Like, name one popular politician on the Democratic base other than Bernie, who's like a geriatric.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of a single popular. Jaron and I were trying to think of one. We're like, who's a popular politician that isn't repulsive? Yeah, I can't think of anyone. Like, at least on the right, DeSantis, I think, is popular.
It's popular.
Yeah, and I don't know who's popular at the base because the Democratic base is very
Fractured.
yeah.
Yeah.
Republicans will fucking hate each other, but they know how to stick together. They're good at seeing like the big picture. Hillary, she needs to like comedy training.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
To even become personable
I know.
and human. She's so not human. Maybe that's what she's been doing in the woods. She's just been taking those master classes that she has access to, like Steve Martin's and Judd Apatow's, now that she has all that time.
I'm Hillary Rodham Clinton, and this is Masterclass.
And
Just brushing up on her comedic timing and human interactions.
this is like a terrible like sequel to a movie that no one asked for. I mean, we did already get Matrix 4, so I guess I'm not surprised that this is coming down the pipes right behind it. This would be like making Cats 2. Or like Fiddler on the Roof 2, Fiddler in the Basement. No one needs these. It would be such a shit show too, because Bill Clinton will be getting sued by like the Epstein chick, and everybody will be going after Trump for leading an insurrection. It would be just like a disaster for the country.
And it's like, these are the two best candidates we can pull out of our ass. Are you kidding me?
Hillary's so delusional. I bet she actually thinks she's like a comeback queen.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. I can't bear it.
What's next?
Tax the rich.
Every week we have a tax the rich. We're becoming commies over here.
Yachts to be exempt from the EU's carbon pricing plan.
Oh, joy.
Another story I love.
This is such bullshit.
I think it's hilarious, of course. When I have a yacht, I'm going to name it the USS Climate Change. And I'm going to tool around the Med and laugh while the world burns at the pores tearing each other apart. I mean, it really is. It does feel like we're in that time where it's like get rich or get fucked. We better hurry up around here. This is a reminder to subscribe to Dumpster Fire.
Please make us rich.
If you are one of our top tiers, we will save you a room on the yacht.
A berth on the yacht. You can be Bridget's like cook or something like that.
You are guaranteed a spot on the yacht.
For at least a couple
A
days.
crew member spot.
The more you give, the longer you can stay.
Exactly. We'll have an algorithm that figures it out.
What kind of system are we setting up here?
Our own
Obviously,
system, Maggie.
our own hierarchy for the new world.
Come on, Maggie.
Get rich or get fucked.
I thought you were going to marry Jeff Bezos so we wouldn't have to worry about this anyway.
No, I'm sorry. I still love my husband too much. Private jets are already excluded for business purposes, and their emissions went up 31% between 2005 and 2019.
It's a lot of business to get done.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of business to get done, and usually that's like flying to and from Davos to talk about climate change. I've been making fun of this for like over a decade. I was probably one of the first people calling Leo out for being a hypocrite.
Uh-huh.
And everybody used to get mad at me. Remember when I do stand-up routines about it and people would boo me?
Yeah, and we did. It was in a dumpster fire, too. Leonardo DiCaprio celebrates his girlfriend's 23rd birthday with a yacht party.
Where else would Leo be when the world is burning other than a yacht with a woman 20 years plus younger than him?
Leo on his yachts.
Yeah, they're not booing me anymore, let me tell you. They're booing me for other reasons. In this system, more than half of Europe's ships would be exempt.
This is such bullshit.
I mean, that's a lot. Yeah, there's tons of rich people right now taking their yacht on like a celebratory you cruise. They don't care. The rich don't care about you. What's such bullshit is that they'll make the poors in California buy electric cars and they'll let rich people fly around in their gas guzzling jets and like yachts. This is the deal though. It's so much easier to control people when it's just rich and poor until there's a revolution, which there will be. Some rich asshole is going to name their yacht the USS Greta Thunberg. USS Greta. Or the USS Suck It Pours. That's what mine's going to be.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to have two
Bridget's
yachts.
gonna have two
one is
yachts.
the climate change, and one
That will
is
be
the
yours,
Suck It Pours.
Maggie.
Okay.
Let's also exempt the billionaire spaceships while we're at it. I'm sure they're already exempt.
Yeah. No one's taxing those things.
Honestly. There's too much money out there, and not enough of it is flowing towards dumpster fire.
Subscribe to Phetasy.com.
Like, subscribe, and comment. Touch our bells and buttons.
Ensure your spot on the yacht.
Ensure your spot on the USS Climate Change.
Donations do not actually ensure that you get a spot on Bridget's yacht. California. California wants to double its taxes.
Honestly, this could have been in Breaking Bridget.
It's going to just slam the middle class.
What do
of
we
course.
get for it, too? What do
Nothing.
we get? Nothing. We get roads, schools, infrastructure, and you might get stabbed by a drifter because they're letting all the prisoners out of the jails.
Uh-huh.
And that's not assault.
Wow. Yeah. It's a tragedy what's happened to this state. And we're going to be fucking Cape Town in 10 years.
Yeah.
And every one of you out there in the comments who's like, just move, just move. California's coming for you. Whatever happens in California is just a preview of coming attractions for the rest of America.
Right.
You can try and don't California my Texas all you want, but it's happening. Facebook signed a lease there in Austin.
All of California is moving to Austin. Sorry.
Yeah, good luck, Texas. Is this like a way to punish the people who decided to stay here?
Yeah.
Is there some long con to just force everybody to move out of this state who's middle class?
I think there's some sort of master plan to drive the majority of the population out of California
the people
so that
who
someone can have
own-
it all to themselves.
It's the people who own the PJs and the yachts are going to be living in California
Well, this
because
is
they
Cape
can
Town.
afford it. And then
Shanty
everybody
towns
else-
and walls.
yeah.
That's literally what Cape Town is. The whole idea of doubling the taxes is to pay for the single, like the single payer
CalCare.
health care. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what's ridiculous, too, is they're also adding all these other taxes. So not even just income tax, but then like a gross revenue tax.
Right.
So even if your business doesn't profit, you're still getting taxed on whatever money you make.
Oh my God, that's
insane.
insane. Yeah, it's impossible to be a small business owner in this state.
We've got to get out of here.
I know. I mean, if anything makes me want to leave, it's that, because it's not sustainable.
Uh-huh.
How are you supposed to employ people in
I
this
don't know.
state? This is also just known as the let's make everybody homeless tax. We're going to have to start doing porn to survive. 2 bums, 1 tent.
Just shooting porn in a tent somewhere.
Maybe I haven't avoided that porn career yet. Maybe it's headed right for me.
One shot
Too soon to
Phetasy
tell.
all by herself is
Maybe
coming
I
up
haven't
soon.
dodged that bullet yet.
Canceled.
Cancelled! Let me take off my crown for this one.
Prince Andrew to face civil sexual assault case related to Epstein case after a U.S. judge rejected his bid to dismiss the lawsuit. Prince Andrew has since been stripped of his military roles and the use of his Royal Highness title.
Glenn Greenwald had a great tweet where he's like, the Queen decides to scold him at 61 years old. Like, royalty is fucking ridiculous. Like, royalty is a parody. How long have they known this?
Forever.
I know.
Since it's happened.
I know. They can't call him Prince, but they can still call him Daddy. Ayo.
Cringe.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, he should be held accountable for this. I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sounds like a perv.
Yeah.
Next, it's going to be the artist formerly known as Prince Andrew didn't kill himself.
That'll be our new category. R.I.P. Bob Saget dies at 65.
I will try to get through this one without crying. Bob Saget was beloved by everyone, and it is really evident to me how he truly was just a good and caring person, and he was just loving, nice to everyone. He wasn't one of those famous people that was only nice to you if you were famous. He was truly just good-hearted, helped everybody that he could help, and loved what he was doing. And it's just like too young, gone too soon. And there was like, it united so many people. He really managed to just unite, across all party lines. People were just mourning his loss. He was America's dad. He did funniest home videos, and he was the raunchiest comedian you ever would have heard. Our own Dave Yates wrote a piece about him for Spectator, which you should check out. And I just wish his family and friends, like he just touched so many people, and it's such a loss and so unexpected. He was a little over a week ago doing a show. Mm-hmm. It's just so crazy. Life is precious. He loved his daughters and his wife so much, and I think I want to try to be more like Bob Saget. We should all try to be more like him.
The world would be a better place.
Definitely.
Don't watch the news for a while. Just try to find comedy and find love and, I don't know, be good to each other, okay? And lots of love. Thanks.
Siri, please take my life. A robot tries to replicate human emotions, and it's terrifying.
AKA Hillary Clinton's masterclass.
This was the prototype.
Yes. This is like the alien in Men in Black wearing the Edgar skin suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Like, this is what AI thinks humans are like. Are we like that? Maybe we don't realize that. It's like, so the AI just thinks all humans are drunk. It probably seems that way to AI because we're so out of our minds and crazy and irrational
And emotional.
yeah, it's like
It just looked like it was having like spasms, though, or
Yeah.
a stroke or something.
Trying to like stretch its face out.
And was it a sex robot or what?
I don't know.
That's always weirded me out too with the sex robots. Like, you take the worst parts of humans and put them in sex robots. Why do sex robots need emotions and opinions? We're gonna have robots' lives matter soon.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Every week, Jared and I, at least once a week, are like, we want to raise our children in the woods. Like,
Teach them survival skills.
I don't want to be part of this society. I need to go become part of like the homestead van life people or whatever.
Hannah Amazon show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be like two idiots trying to teach this like young girl how to survive, and we'd be like, never
Hope will
mind.
teach her.
Don't take our advice.
We want our Netflix back. Like, subscribe, and comment. Touch my bells and buttons.
Patriarchy so crafty. Penn trans swimmer loses to Yale trans swimmer in women's 100-meter race.
So just to be clear, for everyone who might be confused, I don't know why you would be. Leah Thomas, who we've been covering quite a bit here on Dumpster Fire, is the male to female, so trans woman, was racing against a trans man, so female to male. I'm just explaining this for the boomers out there. And the trans man beat the trans woman. And he's not on testosterone because he decided not to take hormones so he could continue to race with the women. But you still have to call him a man. So technically a man still won a woman's race. And my big conspiracy, like, these articles read so fucking crazy. Here's one quote from the article. After the race, the 20-year-old who has had his breasts removed pulled down the top of his swimsuit. What the f*** is happening? What kind of quote is that I just read? My conspiracy theory is that I'm convinced the whole thing was a setup.
Yeah. Well, because I thought, the guy was taking testosterone, and then you're like, no, in order to be able to qualify to still compete with women, he wasn't taking any hormones, but then...
Yeah, because if you're trans, you can basically just pick the most advantageous position for yourself.
Uh-huh.
So a man can win a woman's swim meet because he would get obliterated by biological men.
Oh, you don't want to go compete against the men even though you're a man?
It's a
how
disgrace.
you identify? I'm shocked.
I do think it's like a conspiracy, though, and it was set up because there was a big study that came out, or like poll that came out around trans activism and what was working and what wasn't. And they found that the sports thing is really what like turns people off and tends to go mainstream, and particularly this Leah Thomas sports thing, because it was getting so much coverage, and it was so blatantly, she was beating them by like 40 seconds or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced the activists made a phone call and were like, listen, you need to dial it back. There's this quote from the article. In a less dominant display than in Ohio, Thomas swam slightly behind her closest competitor for most of the race before pulling ahead at the end in the final heat. In the first heat, she finished about 5 seconds ahead of her closest competitor.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is like Dash in The Incredibles.
Pick up the pace! Come on! No! Pull back! Pace it! Slow down just a little bit! Don't give up! Make it close!
This is literally Dash in The Incredibles. In the scene where he's running track with the kids and the parents are like, slow down.
Wait. Second
Place. That's the trans activist yelling at Leah Thomas. That's how they're cheering her on. I guarantee it. I guarantee they got to her. And we're like, you need to tone it down.
Because I saw like a Yahoo headline or something earlier in the week, and it was like the trans sports debate can finally be put to rest.
I wouldn't be surprised if they even planned that.
Uh-huh.
If they were like, yo, have him beat her so you can see, like, this is all fair.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. That would not surprise me because it's just too ridiculous. They always show the pictures of the like hair with the male. They never show like the picture of Leah Thomas like walking in the suit where it's like the broadest shoulders ever. And, like
very
masculine
features.
Wingspan. Yeah.
Has like a Michael Phelps wingspan compared to the women. It's not fair. It's not fair. The debate is never either that a moderately good biological male who's competing as a woman, some of the best women are still going to be able to beat that somewhat average dude.
Right.
Like the top of the top. So that's not the argument. The argument is like, why would you even show up if you're a woman? Women! I mean, have your own category.
Right.
That's what I don't understand. We should just have a trans category. Why can't we have a trans category? This is why there's that push, like trans men are men, trans women are women. But it does crack me up that like technically a man beat a woman
in a women's race.
in a women's race. But now they're trying to say, see, this puts it to debate. I'm like, but inherent in that argument that you're making, going CCC, you're acknowledging that is a man swimming in a woman's race.
Right.
So you don't get to use that argument.
Right.
Like, sorry, because you don't get to say, like, trans women are women and this doesn't matter. But CCC, this puts this argument to bed. No,
because if trans women are women and trans men are men, then that's a man who still won the women's race.
Stop gaslighting me.
All right. So we have a new category. We weren't sure what to call it, so maybe you can weigh in on this. Dumpster fire couple of the year.
That's great.
Or Beetlejuice and Lydia, because the pictures were
that seems specific to them, but we can definitely have a dumpster fire couple of the year award.
Okay.
Or couple of the week.
Yeah, dumpster fire couple of the week. Or just dumpster fire couple of whatever.
They're just a dumpster fire of a couple, you know, like that's why.
This relationship's definitely going to work out.
Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are engaged and sealed the union by drinking each other's blood.
They're the millennial version of Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. For those of you who don't remember how crazy they wore each vials of one another's blood around their neck.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like, am I crazy? Wasn't she like Christian for a while when she was married to like Brian Austin Green?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Imagine being married to Brian Austin Green and downgrading somehow.
Machine Gun Kelly fans are going to be going after you.
So is Megan going to change her name to Megan Kelly? No, they're progressive, so he'll probably become Machine Gun Fox, which actually is a pretty badass name.
It's a good name.
I like that
Machine Gun Fox.
Machine Gun Fox. They really are the perfect couple. Like the two worst examples of human beings. She's just going by the Britney Spears playbook now. She'll be shaving her head in like 5 years. I remember when Angelina went through this phase.
Yeah. Well, she and her first husband, Johnny Lee Miller, they had something to do with blood at their wedding ceremony or something.
And she kissed her brother or something?
Yeah. She like was uncomfortably close with her brother.
She's been amazing at the rebrand.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
I used to remember when I was like, what would Angelina Jolie do? Because she could just, I mean, the way that woman pivoted. Woo!
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Pivot! Shut up!
She pivoted into like UN Woman of the Year.
UNICEF ambassador.
With like 12 children.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She's a UNICEF ambassador and she was kissing her brother and drinking blood.
Billy Bob Thornton's blood.
Tell me there isn't space for me to pivot out of this dumpster fire and into the mainstream.
Out of this garage. Can you pivot out of the garage?
Tell Maggie in the comments what we should call this category. And who you nominate to be dumpster fire couple of the year.
Yeah, we should have running nominees. Dumpster diving.
What's next in the dumpster?
A lot of trash in that one.
I love it when you pull out the trash. That's my
That was
favorite
me
part.
looking at the different categories. There are 4 this week.
All right.
See, a lot of thought goes into this.
2 Los Angeles cops are fired for ignoring a robbery to chase a Snorlax in Pokemon Go.
This was a trend that was popular like 5 years ago. Leave it to the police to show up late to this one. Not surprised. I mean, if they weren't taking more than $950, whatever the minimum is, why do they need to show up anyway? And they're like, f it. Do we really need to go?
This person's just going to be back out on the street tomorrow.
You guys all wanted to defund the police, and now the police are just nerds. So there you go. I don't know why anyone's bitching about this. They defunded themselves. They're like, we're defunded. We're going to play freaking Pokemon. The robber they ignored was their manhood for playing Pokemon Go.
We had a whole debate in the writer's room as to whether or not is the Snorlax like a rare one. We weren't sure. Because was this like an extremely rare one that they really didn't want to like give up chasing?
I don't know. Maybe the judge will go easy on them if it was.
We almost got the Snorlax.
What would be the incentive? Yeah, exactly.
Get him.
It's like the robber goes left and the Snorlax goes right. And you're like,
You're like,
Sophie's choice.
all right. And then we have a man claims he lost 1.5 inches from the length of his penis after contracting COVID.
as our dumpster fire friend Gretchen said, you're going to see that excuse used a lot now. Guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, it was the COVID. I lost some inches in the COVID. But it's weird. Like, Nicki Minaj's cousin got swollen balls from the vaccine, allegedly.
Cousin's friend.
And this was from the COVID virus.
Right.
His dick shrank.
Has a shrinking winky.
Why didn't the fucking big pharma come out with this? Like, if you get COVID, your dick will shrink. They would have been lines around the block.
Yeah, right.
Can you give me the shot in my dick?
Yeah, women on board making their like husbands and whatnot go get it. Like, you are not getting COVID.
If you get COVID and your dick shrinks, I'm leaving you.
That's why Bridget left Jeff Bezos.
What are you gaining by telling everyone this too? Why would you go to like the press with this?
I know.
It just seems weird to me.
Because he now has a 3-inch dick.
Advertising that you have a small penis.
Who are you going to sue? The wet lab in China?
Hamas accuses Israel of deploying Zionist killer dolphins.
Oh my God. Is this the next Brian Austin Green movie? I feel like it is. Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Killer dolphins.
What can't the Jews do? They control the weather.
They have a space laser.
They have a space laser. They have a now
Killer
Navy
dolphins.
Marine mammal program. They run the world.
Control the media.
Control the media.
I just wanted to see you do your dolphin impression again.
They can speak dolphin apparently. And then there was this great Hamas video where he was explaining this, and I feel like he was just saying, "I was trying to catch a Snorlax."
رصد ومتابعة مواقع البحرية وزوارق العدو الصهيوني.
All right, and then we have Drake was accused of putting hot sauce in a condom after sex.
Ooh, and you know what hot sauce Drake used? Hot sauce. That story was crazy.
It was gross.
I didn't read it.
Oh,
Well,
so
it was
gross.
funny because on the Instagram post, it was like, it's so graphic.
It's so graphic.
Just the way they were describing it, it was like they had sex for about 20 minutes. He was mostly
was
from
tapping
behind.
it
He
in
was
from
tapping
behind.
it from behind. That was the way they
Oh
described.
my God.
And like she said, he had about 7 inches, but with like
Thick and cut.
And
She's describing his
yeah,
dick.
because she's suing. Because then she untied the condom and tried to put the. She was basically trying to get herself pregnant by Drake.
So no wonder he f***ing put hot sauce. Like, this must be a common thing he does.
So she put it in her vagina and started screaming. And then when he went into the bathroom, he confessed that
He put hot sauce in the condom before
condom
he tied a
to
knot.
kill the sperm.
Why is she
Allegedly.
suing?
This is karma for her bad intentions.
How does she have any case with this? Like, that is not something you should be doing.
Or admitting. Like, why do you think this is like...
He obviously suspected this might be something she tried to do.
I know and his quote too is like, "You can have your 15 minutes of fame, and I'll have the other 23 hours and 45 minutes."
Oh my God!
Champagne
Now all celebrity
Poppy.
men are just going to be carrying around hot sauce with them. Breaking Bridget.
I'll keep this one quick because I don't even want to give this any attention or more than it deserves.
Hundreds of doctors sign open letter asking Spotify to address mass misinformation events and take aim at the Joe Rogan show.
I have repeatedly said, "Do not come for Joe Rogan," or you will have to get by me.
Ooh.
Sam,
With my 50,000 YouTube followers.
you have to get by me and my 53,000 YouTube followers. And my 25,000 Rumble followers.
And the baby in her belly.
And my small little warrior baby child. That man's been holding the center, and I will defend him. I've said it before, and I will say it again. We would not exist if it were not for Joe Rogan. Nobody would be having any conversations. The Overton window would have been slammed shut, and it would just be narrative bullshit all day long. That's why they hate him. Mm-hmm. He has like more listeners than all of the mainstream news channels put together.
Yeah.
There was a study. It was like he has like 11 million and everyone else has like, it was like CNN was like in the 100,000s.
It's sad.
Ridiculous. And he himself said it recently when he was talking to Tim Dillon, Joe, who's much more self-aware than people might realize, that the media needs a Trump figure, basically. They need a boogeyman.
They realize I have a lot of influence. Another reason why is because they need a boogeyman. Like, the mainstream media needs a Trump. They need a someone. They need because on their own, the problem is it's a lot of it is editorial opinion pieces by morons.
The thing that drives me the most crazy about this is just the absolute hypocrisy from these experts. It seems to me like the medical community and the expert community set their credibility on fire when in the middle of a pandemic, they were like, racism is the real virus. Go march thousands of people in the middle of the streets. We didn't even have a vaccine. Mm-hmm. People were marching. It was crazy. And then there's a huge surge, and they tried to act like it was like, oh, summer or something like that. They're like, people are just gathering. I'm like, you don't see the connection between the thousands of people and the giant surge we had that summer? It was nuts. Like, gaslighting everywhere, set their credibility on fire. People who had been locked up, businesses closed, like severe consequences for their children, for their work, and then they see thousands of people in the street. You don't think that's going to do something to their brain and trust of you, the media, and you, expert epidemiologists in the street with your sign of racism is the real epidemic? Like, what did you think was going to happen when you were going to do this? That people were just going to roll over and be like, well, I guess that's true. Anyway, so of course they turn to people like Joe Rogan. And of course they're looking for ulterior sources of information because you can't be trusted to tell the truth or do your job or do due diligence or hold the government accountable. Instead, you've just become a narrative mouthpiece for the government. Like, why would anyone trust you at all at this point anymore? And so, of course, they're trusting Joe. At least he has conversations with people who disagree with him, who push back against him. Just this last week, he had somebody who was fact-checking him. He's not claiming to be an expert. He's just curious.
He's not afraid of being wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it just drives me crazy. They traded their credibility in for political ideology, and now they want a scapegoat. And Joe is that scapegoat. I'm just sorry, but this just breaks me. It drives me crazy. And it also just makes him look pathetic. You're basically demanding that Spotify censor Joe. Mm-hmm.
I know.
Good luck to you, sir.
I love how it was like, 270 doctors.
I know. Out of all these doctors.
How many millions of doctors are there in this country? You scrape together 270?
I know. And they weren't all doctors. They were like assistants and shit.
Or educators and scientists.
Like, ooh, 270. And Rolling Stone was a person who like shared the... Rolling Stone used to be fucking punk rock. Matt Taibbi was saying this. He's like, my former employer... now playing the role of Tipper Gore. Ridiculous.
Let's censor the media.
Internet is glorious.
All right, Phetasy News.
On Watkins Welcome, we had Ayman Ishmael. He is a writer at Slate. A lot of you listened to that podcast on YouTube. Thank you for that. And we loved your comments. Thank you for subscribing anywhere else you get your podcasts. Also subscribe to Dumpster Fire, which is now a podcast. So when you can't watch us, you can take us on the road and listen to us and hear our joyous, melodious voices. Actually, Dave shared an email that his friend's girlfriend loves this show, and she often screams women in traffic. So
That's
shout
awesome.
out to you. We love that.
That's great.
Like supporters, subscribers, and scallywags in our comments. We love you, rascals. And thank you, Andy Chandler, Matt Monroe, Better Phetasy, and Dave Yates for writing, editing, making this show possible. Thank you, Sammy Flapsenvold. Happy birthday. Everyone wish happy birthday to Sammy in the comments.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Sammy.
you.
Happy birthday,
you.
Sammy. And thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Zen Pro Audio, for the mic. Go to Zen Pro Audio for all your audio needs. Support small businesses like us and like them and like most of our sponsors. This has been your Dumpster Fire for the week of January 9th to January 15th. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich so I can buy my yacht USS Climate Change.